Hello, it's me Zoa, and today I'm going to talk to you about artifacts, reproducing artifacts, and also how things can change drastically just like that. It's like your last video where I said martial law was going to be imposed the next day. It's because I'd already learnt in the past that it was always going to be imposed in the future during these trials and tribulations right now. But at the time I said, this just came sooner than I expected. Except it didn't actually. What I'd done is I'd watched the news this scene. On the news it said 20,000 British troops are about to rally up to help the NHS out. And they did. I jumped the gun and assumed martial law could be imposed. But it's also a learning lesson as well, because it really can happen just like that. Just like that 30-day countdown the government gave before the corona became an epidemic. And I said, oh, it will not even be an epidemic, it will be a pandemic. Well, half that time, it skipped epidemic, went straight to pandemic, as my prophecy, said. So if it do come true, just as martial law is going to be imposed in the future, it might not be in the near future, it might be when I think it might be, which is in a year or so. We'll have to see. All we can do is hope and just listen to me, listen to God, listen to each other. Never remember where your help is at, 3D and 4D. And I'm going to move on to how things quickly escalate, like I said. So the Anunnaki connection here, because the Anunnaki were said to have enslaved humans to mine gold for them. Well, I'm in the exact same boat, but the quote God's having me mine this because I need to give it away, see, to people who need quotes. And I enjoy doing it. It's fun doing God's work, because I get all sorts of evidence, like that spaceship you saw the other day with a portal and stuff like that. All sorts happen when it's part of the course, basically for me. But there you go, you get all sorts of cool stuff happen just by doing this work. But the thing is, the Star of Heaven, yeah, because I performed the blood sacrifice on the blood moon eclipse diagram there, I can reproduce this. Just so, like, anything written in these books here, anything written in there is automatically imbued with the same powers as the Star of Heaven, yeah, because they are the book that detailed all of it in its being. Yep, and so by putting in the quotes, writing in the book, every quote's mind, like, picked up and from there, will automatically have the effects of Trishulite as well. The Spear of Destiny is written in the book, so not only does the Spear of Destiny have the Spear of Destiny effects that it normally has, but it also has the effect of the Star of Heaven as well, because it's written in there. And it's the same applies with the curse. As soon as it's written in there and you put the word cursed, it's cursed. Don't have to redo the curse, it applies. Because the curse put on it. But anyways, right. So it's escalated from finding geodes and stuff like that, yeah, into finding gemstones now. Still on the surface, I still haven't even dug down yet. So jewels. Now we're getting from the ore to the jewels. And then the next step that's happened, yeah. Oh yeah. Just before the jewels, the quartz chunks are getting nicer and nicer. So nice that this even was in the shape of a heart when I cracked it open. It's a heart obelisk. But also, it had another heart in its right here. See, it's Mother's Day today. So don't forget it, wish mothers a happy Mother's Day for around. Yep, I put a picture of obviously the alien grave, a portal, the Pleiades star cluster, Will's best man, love, see what I've done there, Zoa. This is to be given away and it has the same qualities as that, because it's written in there. Now moving on from that, Dusk Stones. You recall the Dawnstone I have, right? I have in Pandora's box, the previous rock, But I found both of them about a year and a half ago. That's the first dusk stone I ever found, and it's been over a year and a half since I first found one. But that belonged to someone else called Tempest, so I gave it her. And then I've been getting more dusk stones. Remember that video where you saw the spaceship on Friday the 13th? There's the first one. And then today I found 6 more. We'll start with the smallest, then go for the naughtiest one. Right, so there we are. That's one. If you're familiar with Pokemon, these are evolution stones. If you do just that, just like Trishulite does. So not only does that rupture up, because think of a black goo on Prometheus, it is that. It ruptures up that in your DNA, the dust stone. It's vitrified soil, in actuality, it can be caused by smelting or alien spaceships. So there are only 2 ways to get it. But this is also imbued with power of that because it's written in there. And all of these belong to me unless given away to someone who needs one. So there's the biggest one. And then one more bit from there, right? And then the naughtiest one. Because all of this, that is more important than that because they're Pokemon evolution stones that actually do what it says on the tin. Hence, how I can get all this evidence and that and explain it all. But then the best one was, after coming home, I found a chopped up fir tree, so I thought I'd plant it in the garden out the front. Well, then I dug it up, lo and behold, in a complete different location. On the same day, I find another dusk stone. I dug it up out of there. Dug it up. So that was that. Another dusk stone, right? Then I've been digging them all up, right? But that time it was out the front garden, completely different location. I just happened to dig right there. There it is. It just happens. If sudden change can happen really positively like this, right? So can the negative, unfortunately, like martial law and stuff like that, right? It is important to keep in mind that what I said on the last video. It is important because it can happen like that. Now the most mysterious stone I found today is this. I don't know what it is. It's shiny. It's got shiny bits in. Looks to be like a geode of some sort. It's beautiful, I think. I like the colours on it. So if anyone has any ideas what this could be, I want to know. This must be another artifact of some sort, yet to be revealed to me by God. We'll just have to see. And also I'm watching something called Britain's Mysteries or something like that. Mystic Britain, Secrets of Stonehenge. And they've been flashing up as one shot of Stonehenge, right? That none of them are clicked onto. A bit like how the Curse of Oak Island seen from above is the head of George Washington. They were looking at it, this was on camera the whole entire time. What's the immediate thing you see there? Face, eye, nose, and there's the mouth, and you can even see his chin. And there's his forehead, looks a bit like Frankenstein's monster sort of forehead with the, see that's a shaggy black hair there and his fringe there, look. Eyebrow there, look. And of course the eyebrow there. Ridge of the nose, nostril. Cheekbone, see how they even highlight cheek. If I can decode the code of life like this, right, you can as well, and it does take evolution stones. Some of it is physical and takes place instantly, like all this. But a lot of it takes time and patience, like learn how to open a wormhole like that. And getting that spaceship on camera, because it's not often I get the opportunity to do that. See, in Yu-Gi-Oh! There's 3 Egyptian god cards: Obelisk the Tormentor, Slifer the Sky Dragon, and the Ring Dragon of War. I'm going to explain them properly. Because Obelisk isn't even a god card. It's not a god. An Obelisk is one of them. So there you go. Obelisk the Tormentor refers to an obelisk in disguise, but it's in the disguise of a statue of a person. That's what Obelisk the Tormentor represents. We have the Ring Dragon of War, represents God as well in the spaceship I saw before he froze over the river that time. Right? And speaking of a river, because this was an absolute prelude to the spaceship and portal that he later dropped off over last week, because that is actually just up an Infinity Bridge and you're the same place. Another thing as well, right? Speaking of Obelisk the Tormentor. Right? As I said, that's an obelisk. Look at the step pyramid, that's an obelisk in disguise, right? Even look at that, right? It looks like gold and silver instead of black here at the eye. Looks like an eclipse portal. But it actually telling you, go in there, and right there in front of the door, look, is a sun disk. Eclipsed as well. Well, jingle, that's just right outside. There's your sun disk, and there's the moon disk, the Ouija board around it. The clues could not be more obvious that there's the obelisk, there's the obelisks. Even in front of the pyramids in Egypt, there's an obelisk. You didn't need it. Because it's on a ley line, you see. I'm telling you, there's a portal in there underground. There's another hint, there's a church there, a clock tower, and that could be an obelisk. It's not in that case. But you see the setup. You're going to start seeing that a lot more. And because, back to the Egyptian gods, Slifer the Sky Dragon is actually Osiris the Sky Dragon. He was my dad when I was Horus. Yep. And I've seen his spaceship. That was the last spaceship I saw before the one I got on camera. I woke up to see him flying around. So Obelisk Tormentor then, now you know why Obelisk Tormentor isn't a person, but he's not a god. Now we've got Ring Dragon of War in spear mode, because that is what was summoned that day. You see. And you got Ring Dragon of War, spear mode. And then he went on to open the portal. And you got to remember what I showed you in the last video, the light at the top. You go, and there's the portal there. Again, sun disk, moon disk. But if sudden changes come like that, but some take time. It took me a year and a half after seeing spaceships. This will be 6th spaceship I've ever seen. 6th. But it's the only one I've got on video. Because the one which left the crop circle, it's the same guy. But there he's in sphere mode instead of the flying cross, the dragon. You get what I mean? The Thunderbird mode. When he left this on, he was in the Thunderbird spaceship. And there he was in the UFO, the Ring Dragon of War spear mode space.